Good morning. Welcome to Beacon Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Summit, New Jersey, where we're sitting on the ancestral lands of the Lenape people. Welcome to this community of imperfect people trying to heal the world as we feed our spirits together. If you're joining us online, please introduce yourself in the chat. My name is Jermaine Kripe, and my pronouns are she and her. I'm a plus-size African-American woman wearing a blue patterned dress and blue glasses today. I got too much gray, and that's enough for me. We've got a lot of things happening today, and I hope that you'll be able to stick around and be a part of them all. After our services, we have a social hour, and during the social hour in Fellowship Hall, we're going to have a presentation given to us by our architect, Louis Cherry, and our landscape architect, Tavis Dockweiler. My apologies for slaughtering your name. You'll learn about some key updates about sustainability, anti-racism, and inclusion as we move closer to building our dream property over at 695 Springfield. This morning, before our Transgender Day of Remembrance, we began our worship with a prayer written by a good friend of mine, the Reverend Sunshine Wolf, who shares the following. We remember those who've been murdered for being who they are, those who face violence on a daily basis, those who've lost loved ones, and those who worry for loved ones. May we come to a time when we cease to shame children around gender roles and expression, where we allow for freedom and exploration of identity and expression, and to a world that operates from love, especially when things are difficult and confusing. May all of us who live with the threat of violence find support, strength, community, hope, and safety. So I ask you to take a deep breath, settle in, and put down everything that you're carrying this morning. In this space of welcome and acceptance, of covenanting and recommitment, let us worship together. Welcome to Beacon.
Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. 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 Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, it doesn't matter, ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. 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 Come, even if you have broken your vows 1,000 times. Come, even if you have broken some promises. Let's sing together. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. 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 Now I invite you to rise in any way possible, in body or in spirit, and we're going to sing the other tune that might be familiar, but we'll all sing this one together, the same words. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come, try it again. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair.
Our call to worship and chalice lighting today were written by the Reverend Gretchen Haley. You've been holding your prayers on the tip of your tongue. This praise and longing rising in your chest, the quickening of your breath, this dream you have been holding back.
To build the world up with a welcome table that won't quit, jazz on every corner and water as a given, without protest or protection, audacious loving of everyone and everything in this world, to call us all beloved.
To let everything go in one sweeping release, to give in to grace, to believe the sky is big enough to meet the plains, generous enough to receive every breath, every being, every grief, every broken part, and call it beautiful in all the quiet ways, to say, rest now, the world is fine.
You think of this setting aside as a worthy sacrifice, to keep on with your days, your routine, a spell of protection for your heart, to keep the wanting measured, reasonable, not seeing the way the holding in holds you up to, keeps us all caught, disconnected, alone in all our unspoken things.
For a time, an hour or so, let's try a different idea. Let's try saying all the words, singing all the songs, naming all the names. Let us call this world into being and give voice to a dream so glorious. We give our lives to making it real starting now. Come, let us worship together. It's Wonderbox time! Okay, do we have any kiddos who want to come up here and open our Wonderbox? Anybody?
There's a couple in the
Do
back.
we see it? Who do we want to?
We've got a
We
volunteer
have a
making
volunteer.
her way down the road.
We already got some.
All right,
Come on
Sage.
down. What's your name? Your name is Sage. How old are you? You're 4? That's awesome. I miss being 4, guys. Back when
How long ago was that?
back
really?
when midterms weren't a thing and AP Chem wasn't a thing, you know, just great times. Would you like to open our box for us? Okay, ready? Can you reach in there and see what we have? What is that? It's a Lego. It is a Lego. You want to show everybody? Look, guys, it's Legos. Do you like to build anything with Legos, Sage? What do you like to build? Boats? Boats are so cool, guys. Boats do a lot of good things for us. Can I see that, please, so I can give that to Ms. Demaine? Thank you. Thanks for opening our box. If any other kids would like to come down, you guys can. We've got some Legos, I think, somewhere.
They're under the table.
There's some Legos over here if you guys want to play with them, and this is yours.
Yes. It's Legos, people. Come on. Oh, every parent in the room just went, ugh. They remember that sound. In a world of Lego, every individual block can connect to another. This ability to connect or stick together is called clutch power. It actually has a name. It's a discovery made by Gottfried Kirk Christensen back in 1958. He realized the strength of a simple but effective way that tubes on the bottom can connect to studs on the top, and they clutch together. Sometimes so hard that it's difficult to pry them apart.
But it's not always as easy, right, as Jermaine is saying, right? It's not.
It's not.
Right, to make that clutch power happen. Where are our architects? Oh, there you are, right? You must be excellent with Legos. Yes. Well, the thing is, you have to find the right pieces. And this takes some care and attention. You have to sift through that box, the bins, to find the pieces that will make the image that you have in your mind and make it real.
And you have to deal with the pieces that the dog chewed or that you kicked in the corner after you stepped on it with your bare foot.
No. That's why the feet went.
I know, that's why all the parents shuddered.
Yeah, I'm not sure that works with the metaphor. I'm not sure. Let's just like put the dog chewed ones out of our minds just for a moment. Because when you start out with a brand new Lego set, there's nothing more beautiful than that. There's a guidebook and a map, and every set of pieces is in a different bag. But they usually end up, let's be real, they usually all end up in one bin that gets just tossed on the floor. I've always wondered why IKEA instructions can't be like Lego instructions, right? Everything perfectly mapped out for you.
And even so, finding the right pieces is sometimes hard. It takes patience and flexibility. Maybe you don't find the exact piece that you want, but another one works just fine. And we adjust, and sometimes what we make is even better than what we started with.
Yeah, it might be even better than what we imagined. And this is what, are you ready? This is what Legos have to teach us about life. From now on, whenever you see a Lego, I want you to think about the metaphor, right? Some ideas will connect, and some will not. Some ideas need to be changed, but just like with Legos, we need to keep the bigger picture in mind and use clutch power to stick to that larger idea and keep sifting through the bin, keep sifting through that bin until we find the block which fits with the larger whole, with that idea, that value, like inclusion and access, anti-racism, sustainability, healing, justice, spirituality, and community.
Clutch power. Let's remember to stick with the idea to our people and to trust the process. One block at a time. Here ends our story for all ages.
I can't possibly compete with that. And somewhere in among all those Legos, there are 3 tiny dinosaurs. And I don't know how that works with the metaphor, but I have a feeling we should probably pay attention to the dinosaurs as well as to the Legos. Good morning. My name is Kit Stinson. I am one of the chaplains here at Beacon. Chaplains extend the spiritual care of our community through calls and visits, deep listening, and compassionate companionship. Chaplains also lead shared rituals, including the community candle lighting. Together, we light candles of joy, sorrow, and gratitude. Today, we light a memorial candle for longtime Beacon member Peg Felix, who passed away recently. Peg was a member of this congregation for several decades. We light a candle of joy in honor of Dr. Tuli Patel's mother, who is celebrating her 90th birthday. This celebration is especially joyous because Tuli is in India for the occasion. And finally, as we come into this season of holidays where food is often the star of the show, we light a candle of support for everyone who experiences food insecurity as a painful daily reality. And for those of us who are fortunate enough not to have to worry about where our next meal is coming from, we also see this candle as a reminder that there are many things we can do to help ease the suffering of our friends, neighbors, and strangers, preparing and sharing meals, donating to food banks, getting involved in programs like Summit Warm Hearts and Neighborhood Beacon. For all these things and so much more, I invite you to come forward now and light a candle here in our sanctuary or wherever you are. would you please join in singing this prayer for peace? It's number 1032, Dauna Naish. Give you a chance to open. You can remain seated for this one if you like. The translation is so beautiful at the bottom of the page. 1032. Dauna Naish, me salam. Dauna Naish, me aman. Dauna
Let us take a breath with our prayer that has been sung this morning. Beloved, my name is Reverend Robin. My pronouns are she and her, and I am a member of the lead ministry team here. And for those joining us in need of a visual description, I am a shortish and still consistently elevated white woman with shoulder-length brown hair and a pink stole on. I'm joined by several members of the Connect team this morning, and together as a team, we welcome visitors, we help new members and friends to connect here, and we strengthen the connections among longtime members.
My name is Scott Schnipper. My pronouns are he, him, his.
My name is Tanya Saluga. My pronouns are she and her.
And we are so grateful to be joined by Chris Budin, our new membership coordinator this morning. Yeah. Today, we begin by recognizing our Beacon members who have been part of our community for 30 years this year. We honor your commitment, your long-haul wisdom, your ability to navigate transition while holding to vision. As you have brought a unique blessing forever a part of the life and the legacy of this beacon, we look forward to sharing individual blessings in the form of a poem that will be written just for you, personalized poems, in January at a special brunch in your honor, where you will be joined by other members who've been a part of Beacon for more than 31 years, and our first and second year members. We invite those who are here to rise as we call your names, and we know some folks will be joining us at the second service as well, and others are joining us online. Medora, oh, I took your line, Scott. Sorry,
I'll
Scott.
take that, Robin. Medora and Varki Chaco, Lorraine Connolly, Grace and John Millspaw. Please join me in our praise and gratitude.
We We honor our silver anniversaries, those with 25 years at Beacon. We know some individuals are attending different services, but if you are here, we invite you to come forward. Sorry, I lost my place. To take a journal with your name engraved on it. May it be a place to share the insight and memories, to inscribe the questions and call forth new collective answers among us.
Candace and Jamie Chaliff, Chris Kellogg, Colette and Joe Parsons, Michelle and William Buff Blanchard, Doris Berman and Cliff Heisler, Louise Frankel, Jeff Horowitz and Liz Templin. Please join me in our collective gratitude.
We honor now our 15-year anniversaries, giving thanks that you've nearly raised a life in your time here. You have brought your gifts, shared your story, connected to others, and you are woven into the fabric of our congregation. You have left an imprint here, an impression, and we wish to honor that with the gift of a print of this place made by Beacon member Janet Roberts. As we call your name, please come forward to receive your gift.
Nancy Anderson and Patrick Wilkinson, Karen Jackson, who is with us virtually, Sarah Kirsch, Kelly Luparo, Bob and Ellie Muska, Michael and Stephanie Sarzik, and Lorraine Weirley.
Please join me in our We honor now, beloved, our 10-year anniversaries, knowing that you have poured serious talent and spirit into this place. And perhaps as you approach a decade, you too are needing just a little bit of fuel. And so we are gifting you some Beacon mugs. May they be a worthy vessel to fuel your path in the years ahead.
Trevor DeOlier-Lees, Sarah Edvalson, Meg Kimberland, Lisa Sarah Lavoy Menendez, Stacy Lees, Suzanne Pollock, Barbara Rahl, Jennifer Scarda McCann, Gina and Shira Vajusingham. 3 times.
Thank you. Yes.
We now turn to our 5-year anniversaries, just before the 7-year itch. Perhaps you're starting to wonder about your direction here. After all, you've encountered transition. We give you the hope for grounding as you brought the freshness of commitment and love to this place. These keychains contain the coordinates to 695 Springfield, the site of our new sanctuary. May they always call you back to your spiritual home.
Marcy Beidel and Nancy Skinner, Alyssa Bowers, Lee Cornwell, Heather Craven, Anna Davies, Chris and Danny DiGiacomo Singh, Erica DeVivio, Lauren Morris, Carrie and Jeff Muir, Kendall Morano, Missy Rogers, Gordon Rowan and Deborah Walcozy, Scott Schnipper, Nancy Seuss and Suzanne Wilcox, Chris Schamberg and Charlene Walker. Would you join me in?
We turn now to our first years. You've joined this congregation coming through COVID at the edge of a big move. You remind us of the power and hope of Unitarian Universalism and the call to be a beacon. May these chalices help to remind you to take your faith with you out into the world and to continue to shine the light of our beacon. The best is yet to come.
Jessica Bartlett, Dusty Byron, Kristen Hilbert, Rhoda Clement Haga, Mary Lee Crowley and Rob Pratt, Michelle Endoven, Jeffrey Garibaldi and Lindsay Tyler Garibaldi, Betty Leon, Rahul Malhotra, Hannah and James Picarello, Anand Robin, can you help me? I don't want to butcher.
Yeah.
I know, I spelled it out.
Rangajaran.
Thank you, sorry. Rosemary Wright.
Yeah, you got it.
I'm going to come off because I'm always late.
And Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. My pronouns are he, they. And we turn now to our newest members to invite them to sign the book and receive our welcome. These new members are engaged in the life of our community, from volunteering for just causes to the care of our children and mentoring of youth, to the investment in teams and committees. They take seriously the call to be rooted in relationship.
We invite forward Dana Duryea, Karen Harris, Kathleen Leistokow, Cheryl Payton, Kathy Weldy,
We now turn to our newest friends to come forward and receive a gift. Like our new members, our friends have quickly found community groups and deepening commitments here in our beacon.
We invite forward Marielle Carney, Mary O'Malley, Jessica O'Neill, and Rebecca Ramos.
Please join us together in our affirmation, beloved, as we share together our mission of this place. We welcome you as together we seek to be radically inclusive, to feed the human spirit and heal the world. Together, may we be a beacon. Thank you.
Remember those Legos and how certain people can help us make them fit together? Well, I'm delighted to welcome forward Louis Cherry and Tavis Dockweiler, our architect and our landscape architect, to tell us a little bit more about the journey since last March.
Hello. It is great to be back and feel the energy and love and just the passion of the Beacon community. We were here last March, and in the time since then, we've been working on trying to take our responsibility to really create a facility and a site that embodies your values and what you need that to help heal the world and feed the human spirit. And we're committed to doing that. So the things that we have been developing, and I guess it was mentioned that there'll be a brief 30 minutes, I guess, is what we have between the services, and we'll have some images and be able to talk and, you know, have an informal presentation. And then after the second service, we'll do a lengthier presentation and really get into some more detail. But the things that we've been really prioritizing is how that can we make this project as inclusive as possible, and look at how in the contracting and getting this thing built, we can engage as many people from the global majority as possible and really create a structure that encourages that participation. We've also, with the leadership of Chris Kellogg and Anand, whose last name I will not attempt, and and Nancy Griffith as a sustainability committee, been working really closely with them and appreciate their leadership and really taking very seriously the notion of sustainability and how this building can achieve its very highest level with that. And I'll let Tavis speak a bit to some of the site stuff that's been going on.
Okay. On the site side, we have been making sure that you have the appropriate drop-off facilities and turnaround facilities. We heard that loud and clear, to make sure that everybody, no matter their ability, can get in and out of the facility. We are also approaching a township submission so that the township can give blessing to the plans. And we are really continuing to think deeply about the land and how the site can provide remembrance really through time.
And yesterday we had a couple of presentations and meetings just to kind of get you updated. We met with some neighbors, got, I would say, a very enthusiastic support that they've felt that it will be a great asset to the neighborhood, and which we believe it will be. And also met with some of the constituency groups to really get into some of the specific details. So what we are presenting today, and would love to have you come after the second service, is we've really incorporated pretty much all the comments that we got in March, and there were a lot of things that were echoed a number of times, and I think we've really responded meaningfully to the input that we've gotten to try to get it as perfect as it can be to really reflect your needs.
You're welcome.
So we do hope that all of you will take some time this morning to join us after the service to hear the presentation and hear more in detail what they were able to share with us. And if you want to, just, come back for second service and then stay for the hour-long presentation, right? Yeah? Yeah. We absolutely hope that you'll be there. And what an amazing endeavor for a congregation to take on, to build a new building, to do it on a different campus. That takes a lot of effort and energy. And it's important to know at the same time that we are infusing that space, both inside and outside, with our values, that the space itself is so that we can actually live out our mission. That is what I heard Lewis and Tavis say, building a place where our mission can grow and thrive, and for more people who don't even know what Unitarian Universalism is today, to walk through those doors or move through those doors and be a part of this amazing community. And so that is what our offering this morning is all about, giving to the mission of this congregation, of a radical inclusion that invites us ever deeper into love, to feed the human spirit that on despairing days needs this community, and to heal the world, a world that desperately needs healing. Our offering will now be given and gratefully received.
I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. There is a hurting in my family, and there is sorrow in my town. There is a panic across all the nation, and there is wailing the whole world round. But I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who come before us. So lift me up to the light of change. May the children see more clearly, and may the elders be more wise. May the winds of change caress us, even though they burn our eyes. But I am willing and I am open, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us. So lift me up to the light of change. Give me a mighty yoke to hold my confusion, and give me a desert to hold my fears. Give me a sunset to hold my wonder. Give me an ocean to hold my tears. But I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who come before us. So lift me up in the light of change.
Is it working? Okay, it is. Hello, beloved. Our reading today is titled On the Brink by Reverend Leslie Takahashi. Yep, okay. And it goes, all that we have ever loved and all that we have ever been stands with us on the brink of all that we aspire to create, a deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a deeper joy in this life we share.
I'm always checking my mic to make sure it's off during singing and on during preaching. It's an important difference. Oh, how are we, beloved? Good? Good. Well, 15 days ago, I want to tell you a little story. Can I tell you a story? Okay, good, because otherwise that next part would be awkward. 15 days ago, I stood on Ramapo-Muncie Lenape Nation's sacred land in Mawa, staring at a small geodome covered with thick blue blankets, just feet from a fire that crackled as rocks within it glowed orange and red. The smell of burning wood and cedar filled the air. Beacon members Barbara Heisler, Kendall Morano, Steve Kramer, Helen Kerr, Chris Kellogg, and Jessica Park were gathered in a semicircle around that fire with me as Lehman, a Ramapo-Muncie Lenape Nation member, and Owl, and Lehman's cousin Jeff, ensured that the rocks in the fire were ready for the sweat lodge. Our journey to Mawa began months ago when the facilities expansion team, the board of trustees, and other leaders asked me to reach out to my friend Owl to see how we might be in right relationship with the first and continued peoples of the land upon which we have a proposed project at 695 Springfield. It is the territory of the Ramapo-Muncie Lenape Nation. Now, my knowledge of what was entailed in a sweat lodge was about 1/4 of an inch deep, if that. Lehman had explained to us to wear loose-fitting clothing and that Ramapo-Muncie Lenape Nation would do a co-ed sweat. We were to come hydrated, very hydrated, and it would take, he said, about 2.5 hours, followed by a lunch that we Beacon members should come prepared to bring. I followed all of the instructions to a T, checked off all of the lists, drank plenty of water, but as I stood there staring at the fire that morning, listening to the instruction to offer a prayer, sprinkle cedar on the rocks, and then enter the lodge, I realized 2 things. One, I had followed the instructions exactly as they were given. And 2, I had absolutely no idea what was about to happen. As I crawled into the lodge, Lehman instructed me to go first. He said, as the spiritual leader, that I should sit next to the leader of the ceremony, which was Lehman, and I felt my ego inflate a little at my importance. It's low, and so you have to quite literally crawl on hands and knees to make your way around the circle to the seat. Lehman came in last, and we all were sitting in this circle with a large pit in the middle that was dug into the earth. And that is where Jeff began to place these hot rocks. Lehman taught us that the lodge was like a womb with a line directly to the fire, almost like an umbilical cord. And that the experience we were going to have would be very much like a birth. He said that it would get very hot, and that if it was too hot, we could place our hands on the earth, and it would be cool there, and we should try to get low if the heat got to be too much. He said that when we came out of this experience, we would be changed, different. We would be born into the world. Now, I don't know what I was expecting to happen next, but it wasn't for the very last beam of light that was coming through the door into the lodge to be closed off by Lehman and plunge us into absolute darkness. I don't know what I was expecting to come next, but it wasn't for a large amount of water to be poured over the rocks that sizzled and suddenly released a boom of steam that smelled like cedar and hit your face. I raised my hands to my face and I couldn't even see them in that darkness. Lehman started chanting loudly next to me, and all of a sudden I realized that I was like an animal wanting to crawl my way out at any cost. I was panicking. My ears were ringing, and I opened my mouth to say, Lehman, open the door, but nothing came out. And it was then that I imagined myself in my yoga pants and loose-fitting clothing of just crawling over Lehman, running out the sweat lodge into the woods, screaming, leaving behind all of the Beacon members who I had invited to come. And it was in that moment that every bit of ego that had inflated was released. It was the strongest urge I've ever had in my life to run. It was absolutely visceral. And somehow, even though I couldn't hear anything, I remembered Lehman's words. If it becomes too much, put your hands on the earth and get low. And I grabbed hold of that mossy earth beneath me as if I were taking the hands of the goddess herself. And that cool earth simply said, stay. In the moments that passed, Every bit of fear in my body, like an exorcism, ran out of that sweat lodge, and blessedly, the rest of me stayed. We had 4 rounds together of more rocks coming in, of more water being poured to form steam, of saying yes again and again. We were invited by Lehman to pray for ourselves, to pray for our community, to set forth our intentions, to even sing our songs. There in the darkness where we couldn't find one another, we found our voices. And we sang song after song that we have sung here in this sanctuary. By the end, when the flap to the lodge was finally opened, I wanted to stay longer. But it was time to go back into the world, to return here with you, to carry the messages we received, and to move from the brink. To listen to this moment we are in with absolute clarity. As Reverend Leslie Takahashi reminds us, all that we have ever loved and all that we have ever been stands with us on the brink. We are on the brink, beloved, globally, nationally, locally, and congregationally. Just a week ago, I was at the Union County Interfaith Day of Prayer, where Dr. Rashid of the Islamic Center of Union County shared that he had recently called his mother in Gaza just as she was readying for bed. And only a few hours later, after saying goodnight to her, he received a call from his brother in Gaza that her apartment building had been bombed and that she had been killed. How could this be, he wondered? He had just spoken with her. The tension in that day of prayer was palpable, as I felt for our Jewish and Muslim leaders gathered there, as so many eyes in that sanctuary darted between them. There we were in Elizabeth, New Jersey, in this small Catholic church with the doors that were open and all of the fall leaves just kept blowing down the center aisle. There we were together on the brink. After the service, Rabbi Joel Abraham of Temple Shalom in Scotch Plains walked up to Dr. Rashid, who was standing beside me, and he said, "I'm so sorry about your mother. I'm so sorry." We are so very human on this brink together. And Dr. Rashid, in an incredible act of compassion, said, "So many mothers, all of our mothers." And then he took Rabbi Abraham's extended hand, and they held it, and we just stood. In that moment, we learned from the pain of 2 beloveds the deeper yes, beyond siloed sides into a greater community. On the brink, not only of ruin or peril, but also of all that we aspire to create. Last Sunday, Marty Rothfelder reached out to me. He said, "I know you're busy, but could we consider opening the sanctuary room for a couple from Guatemala whose apartment won't be ready for a week or 2? We've been contacted by the International Rescue Committee, and they have many people to resettle as refugees." And I thought of all the work before me, and December looming. How could we open the sanctuary room? How could we get all of the volunteers together? How could I ask Ellen Boylan to do all of that work? And then Marty said, "I've already called Ellen." And then I thought, what is the matter with you, Robin? Of course we say yes. Of course we say yes. So I called Dr. Tooley, who said, "Thank goodness we have the space." That was the first thing she said. And so on Tuesday night, I had a meal that I didn't prepare, but Marty did, with new friends, Fernanda and William, who are here this morning, who I am so glad to have met. Gloria Steinem wisely counsels that optimism is merely a form of planning. I like that. That's the kind of planning I want to do in these days. We are on the brink in so many ways, beloved, but perhaps optimism, planning for a better world beyond this moment, is exactly the call, even in the midst of all of our fear. Let it run out of the ledge. Let us take the hands of the goddess herself, of one another. Let's get down to the earth and say yes. Because a world is emerging, and it exists alongside the despair, if we can say yes. On the brink of a deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a deeper joy in this life we share. And what of us here in this place where we have gathered for more than a century? What if the sale of this property is not the peril or the end or the brink of disaster, but what if we are on the brink of all we aspire to create? A more inclusive place, where everyone of any physical ability can come into this beacon pulpit and not have to navigate steps and share with us their teaching. What if our elders could still access this space with ease and not have to only join us online? What if those with children in any need could find close parking, handicap accessibility? What if no one had to worry about getting stuck in the elevator again? Hey, it's inspirational. What if all spiritualities, races, and cultures could come into a sanctuary and feel not only welcome, which says, okay, you can have a seat as it is, but felt included, radically included? What if it was a place that was sustainable for the earth and our impact on it, one that created energy and sourced it in such a way that in a crisis, in a great storm, which unfortunately, beloved, will increasingly happen because of the climate crisis, what if we could be a true sanctuary in a storm, a shelter for people when they needed it? What if it was a place that was deepening our commitment to anti-racism, built by contractors of the global majority, and utilized in right relationship with community partners, and telling the layers of history upon the very land that we are building, of whose territory it truly is? What if it was opened with intention to Black-led and global majority-led organizations? What if we didn't have zoning restrictions where we couldn't rent and share our space with anyone? What if it was a retreat center with a green sanctuary for healing, repair, and transformation? What if we were on the brink of a place where we can speak freely and gather around important speakers and issues in our time without having to temper the issues just to rent space somewhere else? What if it was a place that will live stream out and be heard around the world, and we weren't patchworking wires together on Sunday mornings after a rainy night? What if we embodied our values and created greater access in technology to hear, to see, to join into the message? What if we were on the brink of all that we aspire to create? A deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a deeper joy in this life we can share. And what if that brink was not a cliff you teetered on alone, but a threshold we crossed together? What if we took our hands, in the hands of our earth, in the hands of our spiritual ancestors, the hands of the continued and original peoples of this land, in the hands of 7 generations from this moment? And together we moved past the brink to a deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a deeper joy in this life than we ever dared to imagine. What if instead of peril, of pain, of anguish, of despair, the greater hope, the greater peace, the greater love? What if Abby? What if Dick, huh? What if Bev? What if Erica? What if Lewis? What if Tavis? What if Emily? What if Kit? What if Chris? Our commitment and our call and our answer was yes. What if our answer was yes? Across 30 years, across 25 years, across 5 and 10 and 15, across 5 years, across that first year, across those months, what if our answer was yes? 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 Yes to the deeper peace. Yes? Yes to the larger love. Yes to the deeper joy. Dennis, yes? I'm going to start calling names, y'all. We're going back to North Carolina. Give me some yeses. Yes. Yes on the brink. Yes on the threshold. We can take hands. Yes, Beacon. Yes, beloved. Yes.
I invite you to rise in any way possible and join in singing our closing song, which is The Fire of Commitment. It is 1028. From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, joining hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our minds and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living rings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. To the
Take hands with one another for our closing benediction.
Thanks, Rob.
I got you, Abby.
Thank you.
And this is a little responsive. Your response is yes. So, okay, I mean, we can practice it, but
Okay. To the deeper peace, let the people of this beacon say yes.
To this larger love, let the people of Beacon say,
yes.
And for all the days we are given, the beloved people of this beacon and the one to come say yes.
May the deeper joy, the living faith, and the growing light be yours to share as together we become a beacon.
Yes.
circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned. Circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children.